Hello, my friends. This is Amas Sadeki from Ajax, Ontario, signing in again for another session of my live LinkedIn Live. In this session, I would like to bring one guest with me of from everyone who is listening. There are 13 already. So if anybody is interested in talking to me now, just comment. And if you are interested in discussing one-on-one with me, I'll bring you live. Hey boss, Ali Abbas Idri. Boss, hats off to you. Great, great mentor and an expert on cybersecurity. Ali Abbas helped me a lot in one of my very personal things. So, uh, you know, I really appreciate his effort. Faisal Nadeem, thank you very much. Vikrant from Mississauga, hi. So anybody wants to come online with me now? I'm not sure if Ali Abbas at a level where he is coaching people, he doesn't really need um, um, me talking to him on career development. We could probably talk together to help others on career development. Vikrant or Faisal, if you want to come online with me, or Mehboob Alam, whoever is there, uh, if you are interested in talking to me live, just say yes, and I'll bring you in. Come on, guys. Thank you, Ali. Thank you for just joining in and putting just one word in. I really appreciate your time. I know you are an extremely busy person with so many hats you wear. Um, so that's great. Um, Kambar, do you want to come in? Okay. So Kambar, uh, just okay. Kambar wants to come in. I think I can bring in one person, Vijay or Kambar. Who wants to come in first? I can bring in one person. The idea is to discuss one career issue um, that you face, and we will benefit others with this discussion. So who wants to come first? Vijay, do you want to come first, or Kambar, do you want to come first? I need your email address. So if you just quickly share with me your email address, whoever shares with me first, I'll bring that person online now. Okay, so quite a few people already online, but whoever wants to join me online for one-on-one discussion, just send me your email address. So just in comment, put your email address and I will invite you. Hey Vijay, yeah, please send me your email address. Just comment, just put your email address. Or I have your address from your profile. Okay, just wait for my message. Okay, I'm sending you an email now with the link to join. Just click on that link and you will be online with me. All right, Vijay, I just sent you a link. Click on that link and all right, Vijay, did you get the link? Did you get the link, Vijay? Let's see if Vijay could join in. But the idea of this session, today's session, all right, Vijay is with us, and let's bring him in. Hello, Vijay. How are you?
I'm
Can
good.
you
Thank
hear
you so
me?
much.
I can't
Yeah,
hear you.
absolutely.
I can't hear you. Can you please check your microphone? Let me. Okay.
I'm not sure. Everything seems to be
Sorry, it's
fine
my
from my end.
mistake. Okay, my speaker was off, so we can hear
Okay,
you now.
great.
So thank you very much for joining in. Um, we have been on LinkedIn together for some time, but this session is giving us the opportunity to see each other and talk to each other, and of course benefit all those who are watching this session through our conversation. So Vijay, can you quickly introduce yourself um, to the viewers, please?
Yeah, so my name is Vijay. I had 10 years of experience in banking. I came to Canada a year ago and took some couple of months to understand things and started off working with Rogers. In the last 10 years, I worked for three companies at an average of 3 to 4 years in a single company. Had a very successful growth. I was happy with what I was doing, but I wanted something more in life. I wanted to have an international exposure. So, with immigration going up in Canada, I thought this is the right opportunity for me to look beyond India. After coming to Canada in the last 5 years, I've joined five companies. So, not had really a great start. Um, my first realization is no matter how good a company is, it might be the best of the company in Canada. Layoffs are bound to happen. It's not in your control. That sentimental attachment and all for the employees is hardly seen here. But yes, that is something which can happen. So it doesn't matter whether you're on a full-time role, whether you're on a contract role, whether you're on a part-time role. If business has to make a decision, then you are gone. So after working for 4 months, when winter kicked in, Rogers laid me off. I was doing well. Uh, uh, just 15 days back, I was my my probation completed. They accepted me as a full-time employee. They liked my performance. My boss told me that he would want me to be on the books. But 15 days down, they said lay off. So that came as a shocker. I didn't expect. Um, though the core was banking, I wanted to have exposure to sales. Want to understand the customer segment. So that's how I started door-to-door job with Rogers, selling cable, internet, and the smart home monitoring. Then, luckily, at the same time, I was also looking out for banking. I had a job in hand when I got laid off, so I started working with CIBC. Didn't really like the job, though it was in banking, and I had pretty much had that understanding that no matter what my role back home was, I had to start somewhere. So I started working with CIBC for 1 month, but left it. I didn't really like it. I had to go back to India because of some emergency back home. Then I took 3 months break. But while I was going, I was already waiting for Air Canada's offer. While I the day I was about to leave, they called me and said, and this happened in September, so I was waiting till December 1st. On December 1st, they called me and said, Jan 14, I need to join. I could not obviously join. So I told them once I come back, I'll give them a call. On 17th February, I landed back here, called them. They luckily they had position vacant, so I joined them on March 10th. And March 27th, I was in probation. I cleared my probation. On March 27th, they said because of pandemic, I had to, again, either get laid off on June 30th or take a long-term leave. So I took a long-term leave. There was a seasonal position at Amazon, which I was willing to take. It was a tough decision because I was not sure. Everybody suggested me not to go. I was on EI, which I got from Rogers. But one thing which I truly believed in life is disabled are those people who are not the ones who don't have hands on limbs, or the ones who are dumb or deaf. Disabled are the ones who have everything and not able to do anything, sitting at home and wheeling away time. And I know the pandemic is going to bring a lot of burden on the government. So I decided not to take the CERB which was available. I went to work, and the second idea was I would, instead of sitting at home and enjoying the benefits, I would rather go out and then get some exposure, understand how Amazon works, because it's one of the big companies which is growing at a very fast pace. So I understood about the fulfillment business there. 3 months down the line, they gave me a full-time role. It was seasonal role, so contract was only for 90 months, but they gave me a full-time role. After 1 month, I was also looking out because it was very stressful job with the night shift. I understood that in Canada, technology is one thing which is really in demand and has a value for what we do in terms of compensation. So if you need to get respected for the skill that you have, connections is one important thing that we need to have. Otherwise, it's so difficult. I often tell this to people: it's so difficult to get a job which respects your skill. So I wanted to get into technology. I started learning DevOps, and then I took up a data migration project, joined Loblaws a couple of months back. In between, I was during the pandemic, I was also doing some contracting work for Indian startups, where we wanted to set up an accelerator program, but because of pandemic, things did not go well, so I had to leave that. So that has been my journey. A lot of um, ups and downs. One difficult thing which probably anybody would have. So I was a regional manager back home and working for a big bank. So from that level to coming to the ground and then working on the ground was really difficult. It was not easy. So I'm sure a lot of other people are also going through that phase. Competition is very high. A lot of jobs have applied. Have not been of much success. Tried understanding the ATS. Finally understood, what it takes to get that 80% score. But I realized that my resume was not what I am when it was 80% plus. It was completely different. But yes, my one great realization was that connections is the key here in this country. Otherwise, it's really difficult to get a job that you would be wanting. So
Well,
that's my sorry to take a little long time, but I wanted to just summarize my journey.
This is great, Vijay. This is a typical story of an immigrant coming from South Asia.
Yeah.
And you probably see my posts a lot. I do LinkedIn profile optimization, and the objective of that, the whole thing is to help people understand the job dynamics in Canada. And the job dynamics are totally different to what we have back in South Asia.
Absolutely.
And a lot of my clients are from India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and they all obviously are either very experienced and have done a lot in their careers, 20, 25 years, a career span of 20, 25 years, or some people young people like yourself who still have like great experience and exposure. Coming here, the biggest thing what we lose is our social capital. And this is exactly what you also told. Your connections. All of a sudden, you don't have anybody to look at to, and building that connectivity takes time. But in your what you narrated, the positive points that I have picked up, really positive points. I mean, you have been successful in getting 4 jobs, uh,
5, yeah,
right?
I agree.
So in a year's time, these 4 jobs were with off because there was a situation. Winter is a situation where door salesmen are useless. I mean, either you're sitting doing, a call center kind of a job, that's fine. But in winter, when it's 32, 35 degrees minus, you don't go out and knock doors. Um, CIBC is a great bank. I am a CIBC customer, but banking, um, well, if somebody is here and been doing banking for many years, then it's fine. But and the stress level is very different, particularly post-pandemic situation. Jobs have become very demanding. Jobs were demanding anyways, but have become more demanding. But from your story, the positive point that I would like to mention to people who are watching this video and will watch this live, well, when it will be recorded and available online, on my YouTube and my LinkedIn, is that it is not uncommon to find a job which initially, at least, which is not related to your previous experience. Because you rightly said, you use the word skills. Your skills are more important than your experience in Canada, in North America particularly. So you need to really build on your skills. So, okay, you have worked with bank, but what skills you developed while working for a bank? That is more important. So I'm actually working with a client who is highly experienced retail B2B chap, worked for Saudi Aramco and Shell and these kind of brands. Um, Now he was struggling, and he was struggling because he was trying to push his 20 years of experience out in the market. And all of a sudden, that experience makes him irrelevant to Canadian market. So when I asked him to develop a um, list of his skills, he really struggled. It took him a week to write one page, uh, because you have to think. Because in South Asia, we do not think on those lines. So the complete change of mindset based on the environment is necessary when you land in Canada. Number one. Number two, you mentioned about ATS resume. Now, what I always say, there are two things that are essential if you really want. Well, three, but two very important because that is in your control. Number one is your ATS resume. Number two is your LinkedIn profile. These two things make you job ready, or at least ready to project yourself out in the market. If your resume says something else and your LinkedIn profile is in another direction, or incomplete, or badly done, recruiters, Canada is a recruiters market. They would look at your CV, even if you're shortlisted, and they would go onto your LinkedIn profile to see exactly what you have done. So these two things. And the third thing is networking. Uh, and again, when you are in a country where you don't know people, perhaps LinkedIn is the platform to capitalize upon. You build your network and start connecting with people, or at least if those people do not connect with you, you follow them and you learn a lot from them. So this is a great, great story. And what I'm planning is to speak to people on a regular basis, bring guests in, and talk to them, just so that with my experience, I can say a lot. But if people who have been through the situation, if they tell their story, and if I could help them in any ways, by watching this video, you may be able to connect with people in my network, and and others who have listened to your story will take some cue from you as to what is required. But again, going back to the point, the key message is that you were able to get 4 jobs, of which one you didn't like, one you were not really ready for it because you were traveling, and then the COVID situation hit. Amazon's job is initial phase of any 3 months in Amazon. If you can survive that, uh, the chance for smart people is that they would get internally hired for another position. But those 3 months of fulfillment job is really backbreaking. So that's great. But if you have anything you want to discuss with me related to uh, future opportunities, maybe I would be happy to uh, happy to speak to you. I can't hear you again. Why?
Sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah. Okay.
So I hope you're able to hear me. Yeah. So one thing what I realized is it's so easy for people in technology to start working. Maybe they will also find little difficult initially, but it's on the whole not so difficult because the aspect of cultural change. It's not a it's not involving client facing roles, so the aspect of cultural change doesn't add much. But for somebody like me who had been that hardcore sales and business development guy, where our approach to sales has been completely different, and I realized that here the sales has got more to do with digitizing our approach rather than just being on the field. So that aspect is definitely there. But yes, there's a lot of difference there. So I would want to understand how somebody who had been in the managerial role, because I had been 7 years leading large teams. The highest that I had was around 300 plus team that I managed. For somebody of my sort, had to do a lateral transition is near impossible because of the cultural shift. Second is I don't have a Canadian experience. That is what I've been told when I met few branch managers and all. So how the transition should look like? What should be my approach? Should one thing what I decided is obviously learn technology, because down the line we don't know how it's going to be, and with kind of laws that we have here protecting the privacy, it's definitely important to learn digital marketing, which is what I've embarked on, and probably other technology tools. But how should the approach look like? Because I really miss being in banking, servicing the small and medium enterprise customers, the business banking customers. That is something definitely I miss because I've spent 10 years of my time there and I know the products well, but not getting the right opportunity. So I'm not really sure if I should. I do enjoy technology, but yes, that aspect of spending 10 years there has been missed.
No, a great question. This I mean, this is a norm, you see. But a lot of immigrants who come in, they often are successful if they reinvent themselves. Having lived in Canada for more than a year now, I think you probably have realized that the initial couple of years are often challenging. Challenging emotionally because we are not doing things that we used to do back home, right? And challenging also because we are struggling to find our way in. So reinvention is really necessary. And what you have done is actually you have reinvented yourself. Uh, Within the banking sector, if you see, there are a lot of South Asians. I mean, wherever I see,
Yeah,
particularly in
I
GTA,
agree.
particularly in GTA. I mean, I don't know where are you located in GTA?
Brampton.
Brampton, right?
Yeah.
Brampton में तो आपको इंग्लिश बोलने की जरूरत भी नहीं है. You go to Brampton and you speak with. My wife loves to go to Brampton. My in-laws live in Brampton,
Okay.
and she goes there to Rajdhani Suites and all that, and she go to speak Urdu. She says, I love to come to Brampton because, and of course in Scarborough and Mississauga. So banking, if you go even in Ajax, I live in Ajax, which is east of Toronto. There is a lesser concentration of South Asians, but still, if we go to the bank, I think at least 80% tellers are of South Asian origin, mostly Indians and Sri Lankans in this part. Um, Now, my question is that if they could get a job in, you can get a job in also. It will take time. Uh, so ideally, you should network with people on LinkedIn um, of South Asian origin in the banking sector and gradually build your relationship with them. So, see, social media networking, you're already doing digital thing, is all about building your trust and building your relationship.
I know I agree with you, but I have to be honest. And I'm sure maybe a lot of other people also had a similar experience. I found Canadians more helpful than people from South
That's fine.
Asia.
That's fine. I'm
They
not.
respond.
I'm
They
not.
respond.
No, no.
They hear you.
I don't. I don't want. I don't really say that they would help you. The thing is that in most of the time they would not even accept your invitation, right? This is.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
I only yesterday I withdrew 114 connection requests. That's a reality. Not everybody would accept it. But
Yeah.
there are people out there, like I know a few people in the banking sector, and if you want, I can connect you with them offline, um, who are extremely helpful. People working with large banks and brands, and they're really helpful in actually guiding people how to follow the path towards banking industry. But it will take time because the competition is very high, and because everyone in Canada at least is, I mean, even if they have job opportunities available, they're still waiting. I don't know for what. So the job market had started opening up, but again we had second wave. We don't know what's going to happen in the second wave. So message one is uh, reinventing helps. I know a very good friend of mine who is an industrial engineer, dual degree holder actually, industrial engineer and MS in economics from the US, and he worked in Pakistan as the head of a university, Zabis University, which is one of the top universities. He came here and he worked for a couple of years at gas stations and subways and all that. But he continued his efforts to get into the education industry. He found one breakthrough, and that one breakthrough turned into further opportunities for him. So that one breakthrough is important. So if we can continuously keep looking at those opportunities, there are opportunities coming up. I see AML kind of opportunities coming up regularly. I see other compliance opportunities are coming up. Opportunities coming up. Opportunities coming up regularly where there is a lesser competition. The other thing is that if you can tap into what I always advocate, the hidden job market. So tapping into hidden job market happens if you have those connections. If those connections are out there and uh, if you see them posting some jobs which are usually not posted out there on the portals, then that's the hidden job market. The third thing is if you have a profile on which recruiters could come and could search, and if you start appearing in their search, then recruiters will come and talk to you. So it completely changes the ball game altogether. So we applying for a job, we are still competing with another 500-600 people. But if a recruiter comes to us, there's hardly any competition. If we could kind of project ourselves as somebody who can solve that problem that recruiter has. So what I would suggest is keep focusing on banking industry, but also reinvent yourself. At the end of the day, um, if you find an opportunity, a more exciting opportunity to do something else, banking is stressful. I still think banking industry, wherever we go, is very stressful. Now we have another great person joining in. Is Irsa Mushtaq. Irsa, Thank you for joining in. And she's an extremely busy lady. She has been in Canada for over 10 years in the HR and recruitment business. She helps people write their resumes also. She's an expert in that. So thank you very much. And I'm actually talking to her. If you could come online with me in one of the sessions to speak to people about career dynamics in Canada. So, but for you, Vijay, I think you have to stay focused. I think your focus at the moment is digitization, which is great. I know a very good friend of mine, Mert Oz, who is a technical recruiter in one of the IT recruitment companies. He says at any given time in GTA there are 6 to 7 thousand vacancies available for technology people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the reality as compared to very few, maybe a couple of hundred jobs in other parts of in other industries. So tap into it, get into it, and once people stop saying that you don't have Canadian experience, then probably the opportunity would unfold much quickly. The other thing is what I've seen is people working or people looking for big brands or large organizations find it difficult to get into. But if similar people, smart people like you who know the business, who have the personality and the capabilities and the skills, if they tap into opportunities in small and medium-sized businesses, they often, first of all, they're accepted because for a small business, the critical thing is that somebody comes in and fixes the problem. They have limited resources, limited people. The other thing is that people get in, grow faster as compared to people who are competing with a lot of colleagues and peers.
Yeah.
So maybe these are a few things that you should look at, and anybody who is watching this live session or would watch later on can tap into these few tips for their career development. So thank you very much, Vijay, for joining me on this long weekend, Thanksgiving weekend. I hope you made a nice
Thank you.
turkey.
Yeah.
And see, Ilsa has already started talking to people about a question that was raised. This is the beauty of this network. This is the beauty of people coming together, sharing their stories, and and um, and kind of learning from others' experience and putting in their experience to augment the whole discussion. So thank you very much for your time today, and
Thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to talk.
I could
And
do
then,
anything to connect with you with some relevant people. Irsa is somebody that I would really like you to connect with. So she has already commented on the post on this live session. You can quickly, connect with her, and I'll be happy to connect with few
sure.
people.
Thank
So
you so much for allowing me to speak.
my pleasure.
Thank.
And I hope other will come forward also in the next session to share their stories. Really doesn't matter from where you are you based in Canada or Dubai or India or Sri Lanka or Pakistan, Bangladesh, US, doesn't matter. If you can bring in value to this discussion, that would be great. So thank you very much. Hamas Sadiki signing off from Ajax, Ontario. I do LinkedIn profile optimization to target recruiters, and my clients are from everywhere, not only from Canada. And hope to see you again. Adios.